Warning.
You are now tuned in to 7 Mile Radio. 7 Mile Radio.
Peace, peace, peace. How y'all doing today?
Divine.
So, I am so excited because we're getting ready to march into 2024, and there's so much that I have learned. First of all, let me start off by saying my name is Ebe Kemi Oshunliwa. I am the founder and CEO of Kingdom Keys, and also the university, Sacred Keys University. I'm so excited to get to the topic. However, I'm going to allow my co-hosts to introduce themselves and their businesses, and I'll let whoever wants to grab the mic.
My name is independent artist Jason. You can follow me on IG at __ Jason _ or TikTok at Jason _.
Peace and love. My name is Kayaje. You can find me on Instagram at Uniquely So Key or Uniquely Sophisticated on Facebook. And it is a pleasure to be here.
Ashe. So what you won't do for love in 2024. So we're going to put a little spin and twist to things, because I've come to realize the synchronicities that are happening is that the universe is calling out to her people. And in calling out to her people, she's making people see things in different perspectives. It's like the book of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John in the New Testament, how they all witnessed the same thing but saw it in a different light. Okay, so we're going to bring some more light to understanding how to tap into your psychic powers, your intuition, your clairvoyancy, your senses, your 5 senses, and understanding the healing process there is no way around it coming towards 2024. You must go through the purge. And when we say go through the purge, we're not talking about what you've been entertained with on your lies vision. We're talking about what you're going to experience within your development of your chakras, your mind, your body, and your spirit. And what you set your intention to, what you speak into existence will manifest itself. You better pay attention. Ashe. So with that being said, I'm going to ask if you don't mind breaking us to where we are currently in December the 21st and the next 21 days of activation that's taking place, dealing with our winter solstice.
Okay. I thank you so much for introducing that topic, is the winter solstice. So let's see, coming off of one calendar and going into something that's universal, something that is signified within the collective, which is the coming of winter, which is coming of the longer nights and shorter days. The 21st of December signifies the beginning of just that. Now, depending on where you are and what culture you come from, it's plenty of things that you can do in order to prepare and transition, but it is all still along the frequency of connecting with self on a planetary, or I don't want to say planetary, on a celestial level. What's going on with the stars is you have more moon energy, which is more emotional energy. So we're entering in a time of heightened sensitivity to the emotional realm. And not only that, because there is not as much sunlight, we are going into reservation mode or hibernation, depending on who you or how you want to say it, meaning we have to be more strategic in our preparation to get through the times that we call day. So the time of sunlight that we do have, we have to occupy it in the most beneficial way possible. Connecting to Kai, understanding that this is our time to give back to Kai, to nurture in our house plants, bring your fruits, your vegetables, because the fall season has just ended, and she has been so bountiful and so fruitful and so generous with giving that to us. Now it's our time to give that back with the winter solstice. So I'm more forgetting. Yeah, the winter solstice get pretty. It's a lot into it.
Okay, so just to put a pause for a minute, because I did jump ahead. Like I said, I'm excited about this topic because if you listening right now, if you sincerely be sincere with yourself, there's going to be a transformation in this podcast before we end here. Okay? You have to be in a place where you're ready to really fall in love all over again. Okay? This is a new season where we're talking about planting your seeds on fertile ground. I wanted to go back and talk about the other ones, but the Spirit is just like, let's bring this on in. So we just going to go ahead and bring it in, okay? So at the end of the day, we're talking about aligning yourself to be your best self. How do you align you as an individual? A lot of times, us kind-hearted people, we want to help everybody, that we put everybody before ourselves. Okay?
I'm trying to shut up.
So you want to be your best self at all times, but at the same token, it seems like your environment is overpowering you. There's a lot of noise. You can't seem to find no peace of mind. And not only that, when you do get by yourself, for those who are introverts, we find ourselves in our minds so that we're going in time loops, constantly thinking things over and over, and what have and what could have, and what could have, should have been in our past. All right. So we want to touch on a broad of a situation. So those who listening, really pay attention, because we're going to be jumping some everywhere, because the Spirit finna channel up in here. Okay. And if we touch your living room, your ears, your sets, your television, your radio, just receive it. If it don't apply to you, let it go. Because guess what? In 2024, it ain't no more room for no negative energy. You got to be authentically sincere with yourself. Okay? It ain't no more blaming somebody else for what you need to be taken care of. Now we going back. Okay, Spirit. Now we go back into the Chiefs. When we first started off, who are our Chiefs? Where are you?
But you know what? You made me think about something, right? And it's not only a conversation that I had with somebody, but a situation. It's like, if people aren't honest with themselves, you know what I'm saying? How can they? People aren't honest with themselves. That's the reason why they can't do that kind of work, like shadow work. I was having a conversation with somebody about mushrooms, and I told them that, like, or maybe I said this to y'all. That's the reason why some people can't handle them, because it like mushrooms is almost like it's shadow work in medicine form, right? And it takes people to a place where they have to focus on the areas of their life that they don't like.
Of us. Don't
okay,
go,
I didn't know. I didn't know.
We're going to come here. We're coming here. We're working our way there.
I didn't know that. Okay,
okay. We're going to get there.
Okay, go ahead. See? But yeah, it's just like, that's what I was thinking. Like, people aren't honest enough to hold themselves accountable for their BS. You know what I mean? To really fix their issues. You know what I mean? Some people, when you say, you know, don't subscribe to any negativity, sometimes that negativity that people disassociate from is the negativity that they need to handle within themselves. So when you say that, it's sometimes giving people a pass in their minds to be the way that they are, and to excuse their BS, and to point out, they point their finger and not their thumb. But point the problem point at everybody else.
I need you to put a pin in it, because you're jumping ahead of me.
Sorry.
Let me urge you to see it.
I had an example of that. It's like how you'll notice a lot of people in our generation don't listen to what's considered real music because they don't want to address the actual pain and hurt that they're dealing with. No, let me keep turning up because it's going to drown out all my sorrow. It's going to drown out all my issues. And that's not really a healthy way to process grief.
It's a Band-Aid. It's never, you're never
going to get temporary. Which brings us to, we're not willing to feel no more. The world has taught us to be so strong and so hard to the point where we are not allowing ourselves the bridge of opportunity. See, there has to be a yin and a yang, right? This is a negative and a positive. So whatever you put out got to come back, right? So at the end of the day, if you're always in your mind, you only can think about what was. You only can think about what they did. You only can think about how you was embarrassed. You only can think about how bad it hurt you. You are trapping yourself in your own righteous mind. You're becoming the reprobated mind.
May I offer, because we still want to stay solution based. So a solution to this is redirecting focus. It is
stop.
No.
Wrong.
No.
First, you have to be able to become aware. And awareness. How do you become aware? That's what we have to identify first. Because everybody wants to jump over steps. It's just like when they say, study to show thyself approved. Thyself came first. before anybody else. You got to know this for your what? Self. And as you get ready to go in, then you have to put forth the work. But before you can work, you got to be able to identify where the problem is.
So how do we do that?
Now we're talking about the shadow work. Okay? Because I can give you all day long what's wrong with you. But how often, like my brother said, can you actually go within yourself and say, I have been fucked up because A, Y, and Z was the part of this. And be honest about it. This is when I say, let's have some real intimate conversations with ourselves. We got to stop with the bullshit. We too busy sweeping trash up under rugs and calling it a clean house. It's time out for that shit.
What they say about the AA means the first step to recovery is recognizing that you have a problem.
Right. Boom, baby. So what are some tools that we could use to help recognize?
Okay. So let's talk about first, how do you identify it? Like, we want to get tools, but we still ain't identified.
Right. I guess let's start here, right? Do you know yourself enough to know what you love yourself, first off?
Exactly.
Because it kind of start with treating people how you want to be treated. So if you know you don't want to be treated any kind of, you know what I mean? It's like, as far as, yeah, how do you want?
Oh, but see, that's another way. That's a distorted conversation too. Because a lot of people think that they treat themselves well when they don't see how they really destroy themselves.
That's why, because they're not honest doing the shadow work.
Come on, they're not being honest with themselves. So we actually just spreading more shit around. Like I say, stop
delusional.
Stop putting sugar on motherfuckers. Right, stop putting powdered sugar on shit and trying to serve it to me as a donut. It's still shit.
Where's my sound effects?
So,
you see what I'm saying?
That brings me to a point that I had wrote down. Self-care equals self-protection. And when you're talking about things that you love, can you be honest enough to say, I like the things that I like because I like them, and be content in that statement alone? And then is that a sense of awareness? Just the acknowledgement of, okay, I like red because I like red. Like, I can get all deep in with it, but let's just keep it simple. I like red, so now I'm gonna be aware of it. Okay, so let's get real authentic. Okay,
let's get authentic.
I like smoking. Okay, but smoking not necessarily good for the body. I've done cigarettes before, and there was a time when I liked smoking them cigarettes, and it's like, okay, now I have been aware of this, and I can admit that that's something I like because I liked it. Again, I could go deep, but let's keep it simple.
Okay, well, let's go back. You said that you first have to be able to understand, why do you like the color red? It's the science project, making yourself the science project. Ask yourself those core questions: who, what, when, where, and how. Because if you want to know why, you got to figure out how. It's an experience of learning yourself, the actual wisdom. When I say you are the key to your kingdom, it's all within you. But we've been so trained and programmed to always look at everybody outside of us instead of deal with the issues and the things within us. If it brings you a place of vibration, now we're talking about recognizing the signs in 2024. Okay. But I don't want to jump there just yet. Okay. Identifying, what did red symbolize? Does this symbolization of red, is it a higher vibration of understanding I like this, or is it a low vibration? What does that mean? You have to go in and really dissect yourself. We want to jump to the solution. This is the beginning. You got to start at the root chakra. You got to learn what it means to become grounded again.
And may I highlight the book that was suggested for today is Spiritual Growth, Being Your Higher Self by Sayan Raman. I'm pretty sure we referenced this book before. And the chapter that we have today is chapter 9, which is calming your emotions. When you highlight, again, going into a heightened emotional season, how do we become aware and acceptance of these things? For me, I would say sit with them.
Sit with who?
Sit with your emotions. Like, I take specific time to be as angry as I want to be as sad as I want to be as happy as I want to be. But I make that time, you know? And that's helped me when I go through my day be a little bit more regulated with whatever comes my way. And that's me managing the heightens of emotions.
Now you don't have displaced anger, displaced emotion.
Exactly.
Right? Because
now, I'm sorry.
I was about to say, because you've handled it in a way right? Where you channeled it in a place where it needs to go, as opposed to letting it spew out and, contaminate stuff that ain't got nothing to do with it.
Recognizing that this is me right now. It's called the Hermit card in the tarot deck.
Yep. Hermit.
So when you get the Hermit card in the tarot deck, it symbolizes getting alone.
Whew, baby.
A lot of us don't want to take the time to sit alone because we have no choice but to deal with our shit.
You know why? Because it made me think about something when she was talking about her liking the color red and white, right? God forbid you get too deep in your explanation on why that you like the color red. You know why? Because now you're full of yourself. You got this whole conceptualized to the point where you need to humble yourself because you like
the more you meditate on that, just that part right there. Meditation. I want to know why. If the source of everything that is divinely you lives within you, go into you. How do you go?
So you can help to understand it.
So you can, right.
In
because
totality.
You can't be afraid of it. Fear is a big part of it.
Let's talk about fear.
And before we move on to fear, I just wanted to say those two topics in which we just played with were great identifications of one being able to acknowledge who the chiefs are and two rising into the God and
Thank you
goddess
for bringing
status.
me back, baby.
Like those are prime examples because when you get to the level of like, okay, I want to know so much about me and now I want to be able to share so much of me with so many other people or in this certain aspect that get this deep, then you have gotten to a level where you are
knowledge is infectious. Once you get the knowledge, you want to spread it. So
you're everywhere.
Infectious.
And what is God? God is everything.
Ashe. I'm sorry, I was trying to figure that out. Let me stop apologizing. Listen. So, coming back to the color red, because, Spirit wants us to give more clarity on this red. So, prime example. We know in our healing of ourselves, we deal with red as being a low vibration. It's starting at the very root, right? So, in that chakra of healing, we wear red. We drink red. We eat red. Why? Because we want to send a vibration within the body that, hey, I'm bringing awareness to this part of me. Help me to heal. Because if God is inside the temple, the body is the temple. You got to purify the temple. That means you got to put away. Something has to be sacrificed. Now you're going into your Cain and your Abel in the Bible. Okay? Something about what you're willing to sacrifice has to become pure. How do you be pure if you ain't being honest with yourself? How do you expect to be acknowledged for everything that you feel you deserve if you can't be acknowledging yourself? That, hey, I have to clean this up about me. I gossip too goddamn much. I can't wait till somebody fucking call me with the next something because it's entertaining for me. But I want to play the good cop. I want to be the angel in the situation. And I'm gonna tell everybody what my opinion and my perspective is. That book also teaches you in spiritual growth. Hold it up. In spiritual growth, it teaches you. The book is okay. It teaches you how to identify when your ego is rising and how you want to transition how you feel on other people. Can you be that intimate with yourself to say, damn, I never realized I was that fucked up that I actually want everybody to move when I say move, that I'm controlled. I got a controlling spirit. These are demons and spirits and things in which you cannot see that you are wrestling with, and it's called your righteous mind. Psychological programming is real, and it starts everything with the creation of your mind. Your body is made of this earth. Now we're going into the elements. Here, hold this book up. Now we're going into the elements of how to what? Naturally heal yourself. In 2024, your main motherfucking focus should be your goddamn self.
Okay. And it's self-love. Okay. Again, self-care equals self-protection. If you loving yourself so good, it's automatic avoidance of BS.
I ain't got time to worry about what
I
you
ain't got
got
no
to.
time. I got this.
But the world, a lot of people will plant the seeds in your mind that that's narcissistic to be that way, or you're selfish as if it's a bad thing. But guess what? I am selfish when it comes to me. I have to be.
You become selfless. It's a difference.
Okay, there you go.
It's a
Maybe
difference.
that's the word that
Right. We got to watch what we speak, because in 2024, I'm telling you, loves, we going to manifest shit into existence, and we going to walk right into the same shit we speak. Come on, Pharaoh. You have the last word. I am what? Whatever comes after that is a manifestation of playing the words on your subconscious mind. You're going to find yourself trapped within time. And you can't go further because you're holding on to feelings. The feeling is the power within, but I'm going to digress right there. Because I don't want to give all the keys. Some of y'all got to come see me. Okay? However,
All platforms.
Right. Huh?
I said on all platforms,
All
social
platforms.
mediums.
We work.
We everywhere.
Look, I'm letting you know now. You want to know what perfect is? It's me.
Ooh.
It's me.
Hit uniquely.
You know why? Because I'm not afraid to fail so I can learn how to stand up again. I'm not afraid to have you ridicule me, persecute me, talk about me. I'm going to still do what I have to do because my mission is bigger than you.
Okay.
Guess why? Because my first love is me. I got a purpose. I got a gift. And I matter. So the more I learned how to be intimate with me, I identify the things that I need to change and what I have to work on. That's your shadow work. We're too busy trying to pretend like we ready for something that you ain't ready for, boo. And guess what? In 2024, it's going to bring you to your knees. Watch how many people will die from the inside out because they will not acknowledge themselves first. They refuse to acknowledge themselves.
And I guess that's what I meant by saying selfish, is putting oneself first as opposed to everybody else, being a people pleaser and putting everybody else's needs and wants ahead of yours.
No, you can't do
do
that.
that no more.
You can't do that no more.
To be silly.
Let me tell you, every 10 years, the universe shifts in a magnitude where the people respond to it. Think about it. Back in the 60s, back in the 50s, back in the 70s, back in the 80s, back in the 90s. Whatever history part or era that you were derived here in, you came here to serve a purpose within that era of a time. The government didn't just dispatch bullshit for no reason. They wanted to mess with the real timeline. So when we say we practicing certain things and rituals to help us stay in alignment with the universe, because if you touch into the source, who is God? Who is God? Who is God? God cannot be created, nor can God be destroyed. If you look up the source and the science of energy, what is energy? It cannot be created, nor can it be destroyed. But it's something about energy that's connected to your neurological system. Your neurological system is connected to your brain. Your brain is connected to what's called a computer, a chip, a memory bank. You have more ancient knowledge and science inside your melanin skin than these motherfuckers out here. And they know that. It's you who won't pick up a book to read somebody else's science project. And I put emphasis on that. Somebody else's science project. What I eat don't make you shit. It's time for you to acknowledge who you are and fall in love with the things that you need to do for you. You listen, I'm going to get real intimate with you. I remember the moment that a man looked at me and told me, he said, "You don't know what you like in the bedroom?" That fucked me up. I was embarrassed. I don't know what I like in the bedroom. Because why? I had been molested and beat so much to the point where I didn't realize that trauma was the only sexual activity I knew. The Bible tells you to call them out boldly that they may be ashamed. So the only way for somebody to grow, they got to become ashamed of what the fuck they do. And if we keep holding back the truth, people will never become ashamed to recognize what they must change. But can they be sincere with themselves? And that's where the problem is coming in. People are not being sincere with themselves. You're not being intimate with it. We sugarcoating shit, trying to make it sound good. Once again, girls turning into women, stepping into queens, and stepping into goddess status, taking ownership of my bullshit, realizing that, okay, I was a bad mama, but guess what? That was then, this is now. Daddy wasn't there, but guess what? At the end of the day, I'm willing to learn how to love you so I can be a part of you. At the same token, you got to be open enough to receive me too. We're talking about healing. We're talking about what our children are seeing our generations go through. Because we're not being intimate with ourselves. We're too busy trying to entertain other people. I'm not here for entertainment, nor did I come to be entertained. I came here to learn a lesson. You are walking through the shadows of death. This is hell. And it's time to bring awareness to this hell. And we're going to raise some hell coming up in 2024. And when I say raise, we're talking about R-A-Z-E, which means to tear down. And we're going to build and create the new heaven. That's why I'm calling out to my tribe. This ain't for everybody. Some of this is going to fall on deaf ears, and some people ain't going to receive. We ain't here for you.
Everybody can't go.
Everybody can't go. But those who know and seek the truth, there's an alignment that is happening in 2024. And you have to be on that frequency. Just like we on this station, we got to be on the right frequency. This is why synchronicity is happening. The magic of us coming into one mind, where 2 or 3 are touching and gathering, what? There is a higher power in the what? Midst. There's a higher power when we can come together.
I don't know what the hell kind of magic is happening, but like the show's been like in synchronicity. Like you said, it's funny you've been saying that word all show, but it's yeah.
It's the understanding that, like my mother said at the very beginning, towards the beginning of the show, the frequency of the planet has gotten to a magnitude to where everybody is feeling, everybody is understanding. Like talking frequency of spirituality nowadays is like modern, you know, it's new terminology.
Oh no! How about this? I love you. You can't tell people you love them without feeling like this. Like you got
an attack, damn near.
But that's going
exactly.
That's going deeper into what you were saying about being authentic and being true. Like you said, going into the higher vibrations and accepting that higher vibration. Everybody can go.
You know what's crazy? Even parents, I see parents like on Facebook making jokes. They when they kids say, "I love you." Oh, what do you want? You want something? Like, damn, the child can't even tell you that you love them without, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Understanding ways to help us stay in alignment, and I think that's where the medicine ways start coming in, keeping our attachment to the natural way, the natural order, consuming that so that it radiates off of us and we are able to pick up on those frequencies both internally as much as they are already emitting externally.
Even in all that science, that's beautiful. I mean, I'm so proud of my baby because she know her shit when it come down to the astrology. You know what I'm saying? But even within all of that, we're talking about you must know the spirit. In order to move here and forward, you must know what spirit is. If you don't know what spirit is, you will lose your soul salvation. You have to realize that you are your Lord, Dorothy. You got to know that you already knew this, that you already hold a certain knowledge. Let me show you how much awareness you haven't become aware of. We sit and we do this thing, daydream. And in your daydream, you see things in your past, your present, and if you really focus, you'll see your future. Guess what? You got psychic powers. And you don't even know it. You're so powerful that you haven't understood the alchemy process that's taking place within you because you haven't learned how to love yourself yet. So you don't know how to transition the energy of your what? Mind. Your mind is spinning out of control because it's been publicized or governed by another system outside of you. So we're celebrating in satanic rituals. They call them holidays. These holidays have been designed
to drain our energy.
To tap it. No, not to drain it, to tap into it.
Okay, redirection.
When I said 2 or 3 are... Come on, let's talk about what our ancestors, the tools our ancestors left for us to tap into. Where 2 or 3 are touching and agreeing. So all they need us to do is Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Next thing you know, you in sync.
That thing got a spirit now.
Now it has a spirit. Now it not only has a spirit, but we put a symbol. It's called a logo to it. And when you put that logo to it, now you giving it power. And the more you can get the most of us to get on one frequency, it magnifies itself into existence. I said magnify. You see what I'm saying? So whatever the intent is, that's how the magic works. And our hearts be so hell bent on doing the lowest of the vibration that we won't do the highest of the vibration. We practice in too many day rituals. It's called spelling. So we cast spells upon ourselves. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about self-sabotaging.
Ooh.
But we love ourselves. Somebody turn around and say, girl, you wearing that. Oh, no, this whole thing, I just...
Self-sabotage.
Self-sabotage.
And I don't want to... I know I'm not going to divert the conversation because I know this is right up your alley. But on the previous show, as well as one of the shows a couple of days ago, I brought up the conversation of if we are raising our children to not lie to us, why are we lying to them as a kid, telling them all of this fictitious fairy tales and believing all of these holidays? And then you know, I brought up the example of my father being 16 years old when he found out Santa Claus wasn't real. One of the dudes on the panel said, "Oh, I can't believe that. That's too old for you to still be believing that Santa Claus." But at the same time, you telling me that me not telling my 7-year-old that Santa Claus is real is stealing his innocence in his childhood. So what you're telling me is you telling your kid that Santa Claus is real when he's a kid, but when he's growing up, you laughing at him because he believes in it. So are you sacrificing your parental integrity, right, by feeding into all of these traditions, these fictitious traditions and lies that we've been feeding our kids, and then now inducing the trauma on them now because we have to go through this shock of unlearning what we learned and have to learn, relearn, and unlearn. And
this is what if I can...
Self-induced trauma, or what did you say? Self-sabotaging?
Right, sabotaging. The more you do the medicine wheel and become in tune with your body, you'll find out that your body was equipped to withstand any and everything. Let's start there. Second, you will have to understand that everybody is here on their own assignment. See, that's when, remember when we was talking about the girls to the women, from the women to the goddess status, and we was talking about the mothers. The only thing your mother had to do was bring you into this world. The rest was up to you to start learning.
And I would like to even highlight the other episode when we had the kids on there, and you can hear from the child's mouth how and when they start learning. It's from the get-go, you know? And due to trauma, and excuse me, getting tongue-tied. Due to trauma, we do forget aspects of what we picked up from our parents when we were younger, but we never stop learning from them.
It only takes 7 seconds to make a decision. 7 seconds. 7 seconds of me encountering you, I know whether I'm dealing with you or not. Now, the intimacy of becoming aware is, what is this situation gaining me? Is it benefiting me? And can I teach you something? Or can you teach me something? And if in 7 seconds I make up my mind that you can't teach me nothing, and you ain't quiet enough to hear something, then it's time for us to depart ways, because we're not on the same level.
Wave, yeah.
You got to become aware. You got to stop allowing bullshit into your existence. We too busy trying to still point a blame on people around us in an environment when you are the source and flesh walking. You control your energy and your environment. Who is welcome to sit at your table and who's not.
You teach people how to treat you, whether you know it or not.
Exactly.
And why do you accept something that you don't allow? Why would you accept something if you don't like? Why complain about something is what I want to say.
You allowed it into your space.
That you allowed. And that was the actual literal topic of the last show, hour ago. Don't complain about something that you allow.
You allow it. So take ownership for it.
Accountability.
We talked about accountability this month.
See, everything.
One of the children told you this week or this month that enough parents don't take enough accountability. So it comes back to that I'm going to dish it out, because in all reality, let me show you the purity of most of our hearts. I want to see you do better. I just don't know how to teach you how. I don't know how to teach you how. Because why? I'm still trying to figure it out myself. This is why the game of this duality of this time frame is man, know thyself. Woman, heal thy wounds. Because until you become whole, you can't tell a man what he should or shouldn't be fucking doing. You still full of holes. Heal yourself. Men, you got to step your game up. I'm sorry to have to come down on y'all like this. But the truth of the matter is, I know y'all have endured a lot. Okay? To the point where it's now, most men don't even want to take accountability to be a fucking man no more.
But brothers like myself, and I'm sure Jay can attest to it, like hearing certain informations from sisters the caliber such as yourselves mean a whole lot more different than someone who is per se cracking the whip.
Right.
And trying to tell us what they want us to be for their own selfish benefit and own selfish gain. You are sisters who understand men, and your first thing out of your mouth is you understood what we've been through. That part alone, right? You saying that and then acting as if you understand, that lifts so much weight off of our shoulders as far as feeling like we have someone that understands that we can even open up and talk to, right? A lot of women don't even carry that tone, right? So let alone walk with that tone. You know, they don't even say that. It's all about us needing to understand what y'all been through and what we did to cause it.
Mm-hmm. Jason, you want to say something?
No, I'm saying no one is only half the battle as far as, you know, having a woman that can actually own up to that or admit that, be able to identify that, yes, you know what we have been through. Mm-hmm. That's more than half the battle, actually. Yeah, I mean that now gives me the energy to want to open up and let you know and understand my specific angles of the situations of what I've been through. You know what I mean? Because at least you identify with my trauma being had. You know what I mean?
And can I just take a moment to really highlight how once you take the time to hold space for self, how it's starting to reflect outwardly. Because genuinely your first statement was, woman, heal yourself first, you know, patch up all those holes, the scars, the trauma, and do that work. And when you hold that space for yourself, then it's like, okay, I have that extra consideration, grace,
you
compassion.
Can't heal nobody till you heal yourself first. See, one of the things that people get it misconstrued, they think we hate Jesus. No, we just realize we are Jesus. We've come to the realization that we done been through the pain, we done overcame. No matter what you put against us, we took the affliction. It's us.
Right?
It's us. So why can't we believe in ourselves enough to know that we are great? We want to claim. I'm glad we mentioned this. Come on, somebody. All right, so here it is. I remember a narrative somebody shared with me. I wasn't around during the time, but the narrative was about our own city. When Linwood and Dexter Dawes lined up both sides of the street. And they had guns and they had weapons and they was ready to kill each other. And it was the elders that got in the street. The police couldn't stop y'all. Y'all took up the division in Linwood Dawes and Dexter Dawes. Somebody out there know what I'm talking about. Y'all got together, came to one mind, and was ready to fight each other. And it was the elders that got in the street. You know why they killed our elders? Because they got keys.
That was the backbone.
That was the glue.
That could run the shit, yeah.
When you start taking the wisdom away, then you start talking about, I don't want my baby to go through with the same thing I went through. You take away some of the wisdom.
Pieces of history, her story.
Wait a minute, let me tell you. Alchemy. Astrology. We started talking about that when we first started. The alignment of your astrology. Then Jesus was followed by the wise men by a star. I'm talking to a narrative of what ancestors left as codes for us to tap into. When you start realizing that Jesus said you will do even greater than me, that he was meaning something.
Ooh.
He was meaning something. The narrative was to point out that guess what? You will take the knowledge that I have brought forth and you will build on it. So when we start talking about a new heaven and a new earth going into 2024, your solution should be loving yourself. Stop putting yourself last. Stop sacrificing so much for everybody else's happiness and their peace and their understanding and trying to make sure that they get approval. Most of us aren't reaching our highest potential because we still waiting for somebody to give us the okay.
And you made a statement. You was like, why is it that we can't be our best selves? And it instantly got a shadow moment in my head because it's like as soon as I ask myself that question, I start thinking about everything I don't like about me. And one thing I mentioned before is like that smoking thing. And it's like, well, because in my head, in my expectations of what I see as success, they don't really smoke like that. You know, they don't smoke that, you know? So it's like when I see myself do that, I'm self-sabotaging myself by making myself that opposite picture when I can make the decision to do the vice by just switching it up, by aligning to something that doesn't lower the vibration but keeps me on a higher vibration.
When you say don't lower the vibration, give me an example.
So, for instance, in your awareness of self, what is the difference between smoking a cigarette and me smoking this herbal blend? When I smoke the cigarettes, I go through a period of, I literally feel like I need to take a nap. Like, I know my eye is closing for a minute. I'm just like, okay, all right, I'm about to get back to life. I go through this period of like, I'm sad or I'm overthinking, right? Smoking the herbal blend, which is a mixture that is specialized in calming the nerves and clearing the lungs and clearing up mucus and keeping one more focused, is like, okay, here I am. This is the result. I'm able to go longer periods of time. I'm able to stay more focused. I'm able to transition and adapt to my environments without the delay buffer or without being blinded by myself.
Okay. I say, so once again, we talking about different tools that help us tap into becoming more aware. Okay. Okay, so becoming more aware. Also, you mentioned about being tired. So one of the things that I brought today, if you don't mind putting that over there and showing, excuse me, it's the black seed.
Bring that closer to them.
It's the black seed bitters. Why is it so important going into 2024 that you know about these things, these natural herbs? Because think about it, your body is made of every part of the element of the earth. You have, from what you came, you what? Shall return. Which means that you are a part of the what? Earth. You are made of 81% of water.
So these things is helping to reset
you. Okay, so we're going to mention a certain thing because I know we're on a platform of YouTube, so I'm going to, for those who understand how to read in between. Okay, so there was a certain sickness that took place back in 2020 around this time of the year, and everybody started getting sick. They dispatched it as being one thing. This is when I say that some of you are puppets. This ain't for you. This is for those who have understanding that you should not have gotten that thing that they put out there.
Yeah, that candy.
Right, that candy. Because when they put that out there, guess what? It installed a certain vibration where your cell reproduction does not take on its full shape, its full form. Whew. So now,
so it's preventing you from being receptive to these type of
exactly
remedies.
Because once again, getting back into astrology, that's why those who don't know what a numerology reading is, research it, then come find Ibe Kimi. Okay, so when the planets had aligned in 2020, these planets came to a straight alignment. 13 planets shot energy to our planet. Remember, the lights got dark somewhere around 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. Mailmen was walking around with flashlights on their hats. They had issued out this
so
one.
it was on a blackout. It's on a blackout?
Right. No, it wasn't a blackout. Everything just went completely black. No, it was a blackout.
Blackout. The whole Eastern Seaboard went out. Yeah, it was in the middle of the day. I was in the barbershop getting a haircut. I remember.
Yeah. So in that moment, the universe, astrology shot energy down to the earth that activated our DNA. And they told you that you were sick. Remember the eyes when they was flat, splat, and stuck like that? The whiz. It was the whiz, not the eyes. When they was flat, splat, and stuck like that. And they came out the walls when Dorothy came into this new reality of a universe. This was an awakening moment. You see what I'm saying? This activated your DNA and made you go through motions of sickness.
Ooh.
Because it had not been activated, it needed the alignment of the astrology to line up for activation. Because you are that powerful, you need to learn thyself. You hear what I'm saying? So going deeper into this understanding, this alignment activated your DNA, caused you to go through certain motions in sickness. If you've been paying attention to yourself, you a whole lot better off now than you was then. If you went to the doctor, all of a sudden your eyesight got better. All of a sudden, you find yourself doing multitasking and doing multiple things. You've been activated. Okay? Guess what? We are still going through that. All of a sudden, you sitting down, you having certain paralysis. where it's like you feel like something moving and shifting inside of you. This shit is happening. You know why it's happening? Because the universe of all existence is forcing you to find yourself. And if it's going to make you become aware of yourself one way or another, even if it means you have to go through your Chiron planet and become sick.
And man, just like my mom keeps saying, y'all need to come see her because Kingdom Keys got them keys for you, because going into yourself is the control panel for it all. If you don't, or if you're not able to access the control panel, then you have no control over what's going on, and there goes the spiral of chaos. Going inside to find those keys of activation, and those keys of activation is going deeper into the who, what's, whens, and why about self. Why do I like the color red? I like the color red because the up and down of the frequencies. It helps me monitor colors. Help me monitor colors, chakra, colors. Okay, colors, chakra, alignment, root, grounding, medicine, herbal, me. Here I am. You know,
but you also have to know the dualities of yourself, because some people like red because at the end of the day it reminded me when I used to gangbang, or it was when I was my most sexiest. You see what I'm saying? The intimacy. Everybody in 2024 needs to be walking around with a pencil and a notebook. You know why? Because your psychic powers are going to activate so to the point where some people gonna feel like they going crazy. Like, okay, I saw this happen. I saw that death. I saw this. Because guess what? The veils have been lifted. This is the whole narrative of Jesus Christ. When he went down, he was on the crucifix, he was crucified. Everybody can identify that this year you saw people differently. You realized that you didn't have as many people in your corner as you thought you did. You went through a Jesus Christ moment where David said, even my enemies, my friends, and my foes came upon me to eat of my flesh, and this was they confident. What was he confident in? Himself. So going into 2024, you have to be that intimate with yourself. Not for me. Not for you. I mean, not for me. I'm not doing it for you. You better do it for yourself. Because at the end of the day, what I eat don't make you shit. Period. And you have, if you, whatever slogan you got to come up with to make sure you bounce back, like my daughter said, that light switch, you better identify it and get your energy back right. Eliminate your whole playlist and start all over again. Why? Because your ancestors are going to give you what's called synchronicity. Let's identify some synchronicities.
Synchronicities, understanding the season that we're going into. We've been talking about emotion and understanding that internal light switch. You got all this stuff going on. Take some time to sit and analyze. And in that analyzation, talking about the journals. Take time to write it out so you can see what the subconscious already has seen. You know, and you can be able to navigate.
But see, once again, we're talking about people who ain't got there yet. You're on a higher level than that. We're talking about people who are just coming to a place of realization that some shit is happening on a supernatural level, and people are calling me crazy.
I got a perfect one. Okay, my mom did this to me at the beginning of my journey, and it's just like mother energy. Take the medicine. I remember, shout out to Ralph Smart, 7 days. Just take 7 days. Try it. See what happens. You know, and then go from there. If nothing else, try it. See from there, because at the end of the day, if you're called to it, there's a reason. Find that reason and go from there.
That's trusting the intuition. How do we identify the intuition?
Synchronicities.
The voice that you hear in your head that you notice right.
Okay, can I break down synchronicities a little bit more? So everybody's synchronicities, I want to really highlight, is different, because you see what you see for you, right? Now, the collective synchronicities are there, and he mentioned it. It seemed like if you go to the website, everybody is on the same type of topic in one area or another. That's a synchronicity. That's a collective synchronicity. But then we have our individual synchronicities, and those are coming from our individual aspects of ourselves that we have taken and analyzed and we have become aware of. Go see her. She got the keys, y'all. She got the keys. Because once you take the awareness of, okay, this is what I do like, this is what I don't like, I think I got a little off topic with the keys. What was I just saying?
You was trying to break or define the different types of synchronicities.
Like that
So
gut feeling.
when you go into the individual synchronicities, that's where, like Jason just said, that gut feeling comes really strong in, and it's not just about what you see,
Okay.
but what you feel.
Okay, let's go back to identifying the different synchronicities. You have number synchronicities.
Ooh.
All of a sudden, you
Oh,
go
yeah,
certain
go.
places and you see 777 333 444 111. Every time you turn around, it's like, here's these numbers. And it seems to follow me. 911 always seems to follow me for some reason. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I start to research it. Those are called angel numbers. That means that during a lot of chaotic, between the hours of 3 to 5, that is the moment when the spirit speaks the most clearest. That's why you got to get up and go to the bathroom. That's why all of a sudden you just can't seem to go back to sleep.
Quote, witching hour?
They call right. They give us all types of terminology to keep you from your power. Be ye deceived
That's
who
what's that
will.
quote.
Wait. Be ye
Witching
deceived who
angel.
Yeah,
will.
but I love
Let
the
your
witches.
ears.
As far as what I'm concerned, I know them to be my friends and shit. I don't. This is not like a demonic thing. I know.
Right.
I should.
Right, but see, once again, just like Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny.
Yeah, that fictitious shit that they made up to be. Yeah, I'm not.
How come? I always wonder how come Jesus' resurrection always changes date. I'll digress. So, synchronicity,
The same way bunnies got to laying eggs.
synchronicities. Understand that after 6 o'clock, you have a lot of chaos, a lot of noise, a lot of distractions. The TV is on, the radio was going, everybody getting up, everybody got to hurry up and got a deadline and a time frame. That is the matrix. That's the trap, because now you are held accountable to somebody else's time. You're being controlled. If you can't control your time, then you ain't stepped into your masterhood yet. That's why I say, where are the chiefs? Those who know how to govern their own time. They still making ends meet.
Oh man.
You see what I'm saying? If you ain't in that energy, you ain't got a chance to call me master. You can't call yourself a master or a chief yet. You got to be in control of your own energy and your own time. Now, don't get me wrong. We all got to do what we got to do. I'm not telling nobody to follow Ibe Kimmy and just quit all your jobs and leap out there on faith and let the spirit do what it do, because it's going to always open up a door somewhere. That's my faith. That's my knowing.
At least have that mindset.
But have that mindset that you're going to set yourself up, that you no longer have to be operating over somebody else's time, being dictated to.
Don't be so content with this that you afraid to separate from this system that they've conditioned us to believe that that's all there is.
And I really want to highlight into the separation of it, because
No. Hold on. I'm sorry to cut you off, because I'm still breaking down these synchronicities.
Okay, come on.
It's easy. You see how deep this go.
It's a rabbit hole, boy.
Right?
It's a rabbit
You
hole.
can go deep. So we're gonna learn how to stay focused and we're gonna help each other stay on topic. So here it is once again. Then you have the synchronicities of animals.
Okay.
Once again, this is what we all have a zodiac sign. These zodiac signs, and I'm not going into the science of that. It's a whole nother stuff for another day. But the zodiac sign represents your animal characteristics. These are what we call your totems. These are your spiritual guides. They represent a certain vibration of who you are. So get in tune with what that animalistic characteristic is, because it will communicate to you. You'll see 777, then see a rabbit jump around them. Go look it up, find out what it means. Connect the dots. It tells a story. Everything happens for a reason. Then you have the synchronicity of people and things. All of a sudden you turn on the radio and the radio just seems to answer the question you thinking. All of a sudden your inspiration start kicking in. Now all of a sudden you're creative, and all of a sudden you're starting to go into your psychic powers and starting to see a vision. And come on, my ancestors said, write it and then make it plain. Put it into motion. If you stay in your creativity, your first love, you can't go wrong. What are you willing to do for love in 2024?
Damn.
That is the topic. What are you not willing to do?
What are you not willing to do? You should listen.
What you won't do for love.
What you won't do for love.
Yeah,
What you
2024.
won't do. You can't stop me from falling more in love with myself. Whether you like how I walk, talk, think, or act, it does not make me no never mind, because I'm here according to my own contract. That's getting to the laws of the universe. You better learn about your hermetic principles. And the ushering of my energy from which my DNA vibrates is so wondrously rich and great. My aunt saying, don't worry about shit. Take care of you. Take care of your mind, your body.
Poetry.
Get yourself in order. Stop worrying about what everybody else doing. As much as I love my baby and I got my goals, that book, Spiritual Healing, gonna teach you. I'm telling you, it didn't help me build my relationship with my children to accept them as who they are here to be. Her journey ain't my journey. I can work in the kingdom with her because at the end of the day, she got to walk her own path. It ain't got shit to do with me. But if she the master to what she talking, if she can't prove it, she can't provide the facts that she done researched it, that she done lived it, then she here to learn. When we go to each other's platforms, we got to learn how to what I love. Reverend Harris once said to me, he said, check your knowledge in at the door. And I give him reverence only because, one, he's my elder, and two, because it was the truth. How can you learn something if you always trying to run to the bank and prove that you know something? You don't know shit because you ain't lived it yet. Wisdom can, look, you can read all the books in history, and don't get me wrong, everybody should read. You see, I'm putting books in front of you. Because it's somebody else's science project. That means somebody else became courageous, Dorothy. And they tapped into something that was inside of them and their creativity, and they wrote it. The activation, tapping into your senses. Why? Because your senses speak to you. They send you vibrations. They make your goosebumps. They make your hair stand on the back of your head. They give you that feeling in your stomach. They make you almost want to throw up. Your inner spirit is speak. Your chi, your kai. You call it whatever the hell you want to, as long as it makes sense to who? You. Your journey ain't my journey. And I have to learn detachment in 2024. I cannot stress in 2024 if it does not serve you. Meaning it's not teaching you, elevating you, speaking life into you. If you don't agree with it, you ain't humbling yourself to it, then get the fuck away from it because it will devour you.
Hey, Dave, I know you loving this conversation, ain't you, brother? I know a homeboy, Dave, man, he got another podcast on the platform. He preached pretty much the same thing that you said. But
we need to get together because at the end of the day, we got to start bartering. Let's talk about it. Now, I don't want to talk fear because somebody say, he's talking fear. I ain't scared of shit. And that's the problem. We too busy being scared. Fear, like you said earlier, fearful. Being fearful. What you afraid of, Chief? Master? If my job is to cook the greens, I don't need you in here telling me what to put in them. It's my job. Let me do my job. You supposed to be out there cutting the grass. So now the grass got weeds and dandelions and poison and all this other stuff and shit everywhere because you too busy in here trying to stir up the pot with the greens. Learn your place. That's how come everybody want to be the chief and it's not enough. What they say, too many chiefs and not enough Indians. That's because ain't none of us fucking Indians. We all chiefs.
Walking it.
And if you want your respect, then so a man thinketh, so is he. Start speaking yourself into your existence and your power, your abundance, your love, whatever it is that you desire, because so a man speaketh, so is he. You got to walk your shit in 2024. And if you ain't walking your shit, I pity the motherfucking fool that fall victim to the motherfucking what? Game. The program. Living the American dream. Do you know from the time you born, they signed what's called universal commercial codes? And I'm telling, this is some science about you that you refuse to go and find because they tell you don't mix politics with religion. And they tell you shit to keep you from facing the truth. Your UCC codes, every state has a UCC code. It's called a Universal Commercial Code. Now you're talking about tapping into Moorish American science.
Let's get deep with it. Books.
You talking about who the fuck you are. Now be aware, because in my studying, I've also found out there's 3 different types of Moors, but we're going to talk about that on another show.
Okay.
Yes, I'm calling out to the Moorish Americans because y'all are failing us, and I'm going to be the first one to let you know, gods and goddesses, we ain't stepping up to the plate. We claiming wearing shit, symbolizing shit, but we ain't living it. We ain't walking it because you ain't learned how to stay in your place. You got to know your place as the chief.
Not sure.
You got to know it.
Most definitely. Know your role and play your position accordingly.
I'm in your house. When I'm in your house, I'm going to always acknowledge you. That's respect. But when you come in my house, you going to respect my house. Where my rules go, not yours.
Most definitely.
When you learn how to respect each other for who they are, you can actually show some real genuine love. And all those who are devil worshippers, who are the real saints, how the preachers used to say, the devil sit on the very pew. You better pay attention to them. Pay attention to them. They real conning. You got to learn manipulate. You got to learn the laws, 48 laws of power. You got to know your
48
strategy.
laws of manipulation.
Come on. You got to learn it. It's no excuse for you to be weak no more. All you need is a will, a desire. How do you get the will and the desire? You got to go and love yourself again. Your first love wasn't your mama, was your girlfriend, your wife, your husband. It was you. But you forgot how to love you. Why? Because it only took 7 minutes for you to make a decision if something was going to be a part of you. So at the age of 3, our children are learning how to mimic what the fuck they see around. So you want to beat your child because they won't clean up, but you ain't cleaning up. Even as I am 43 years old, my daughter is 24 years old. I got to let her run her own shape, her own race. I can't keep jumping in her world trying to protect her. She'll never grow up into who she's supposed to. Guess what? The good and the bad duality is here to teach you something. You got to learn how to let it flow. You got to be able to take it and release it. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm telling y'all, come and check us out. We starting off 2024 in love and abundance, speaking truth in one another. Check us out. Sacred Keys for You, 7 Mile Radio.